you dig it? Can you dig it?
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room. Inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lurkers and regulars, welcome to the Boiler Room. I'm Brian McLean. My call sign is Hesher here in the Boiler Room. We're broadcasting live at alternatecurrentradio.com, out there live on the YouTubes. What's up, YouTubes? On the Rock Fins. What's up, Rock Finners? On the Rumbles. What's up, Rumblers? Welcome to this live broadcast. It's February the 20th of 2025, and we're going to jump right into it tonight and welcome everybody to the show here on the team for this live Boiler Room. Hello to everybody in the Discord. Great to see you over there. Let me pull up this icebreaker article here so that we have it locked and loaded and ready to go as I navigate back over here into the Boiler Room live chat. We got Fleety, we got Maz, we got Creative Accidents, we got Ruckus, and a bunch of other of our friends in there. Jake's in there. What's up? Brian's in there. What's up? Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us for the live show. And of course, over on the Rumble, we got our friend Eileen, we got Joey, we got Banhammer up in there. Look out, Banhammer's in there. We got Barry. What's going on, Barry? Great to see everybody over there on the Rumbles and the Rock Fins as well. And on the YouTube, we got the YouTube, but we got some friends over there too, smirking and lurking on the YouTube. So thanks for joining us, everybody, for the live show. Let's welcome the one and only Mystical Pharaoh to the Boiler Room. Mystical Pharaoh, what's up? Welcome to the show.
All right, the fun unmute button. Yes, I did. Hey, how are you doing, man?
What's up, dude? It's good to see you.
Good, dude. Good to see you too. Sorry for that fail entrance. I just was looking at a clip from Trump saying that he want to live stream the auditing of Fort Knox, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Dude, you remember what was it that didn't Geraldo Rivera, like back in the 80s? I don't know, you were probably still in Egypt when this happened, but there was this whole thing where Geraldo Rivera was like opening a tomb or something like that.
Yeah. It was coming out of the I think it was like a safe, some kind of safe or a wall.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone when we add them will know, but it makes me think of that. You know, I would have like, 'cause I remember everybody being really excited about that. Al Capone's vault. Thanks, Creative Accidents. It was Al Capone's vault, and everybody. It was a big deal on TV. So kids, we didn't have internet back in those days. We had to wait for mass media cartels to feed us information. And Geraldo, he went and opened Al Capone's vault. This would be even more exciting than that, Infidel Pharaoh. I've always wondered what's going on. We've all always wondered what's going on in Fort Knox, right?
I agree. That would be really interesting. So we'll see. But thanks for having me and looking forward for the show.
Yeah, man. Me too. Thanks for being here. Let's welcome the Ruckus among us. We got Adam Clark joining us. Ruckus, what's up? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Howdy, everybody. How we doing? Happy Black History Month. We're halfway done with it already, but hey, whatever. It's never too late to celebrate Black History Month. Wow, the Geraldo thing. I do distinctly remember that. I was trying to find a picture of the mustache man himself. Not that mustache man. Get that out of your mind, everybody. But the Geraldo mustache man, because, man, he had quite the mustache going. Wow. Well, I would hope that we have a little bit more integrity than he being Geraldo, as well as the other mustache man. And we have a very special guest this evening, somebody who's never joined us before. So this is going to be fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say hello to Cavi from the Mystical American Patriot Society. What's up, man? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Hey, thank you for having me. Long time listener, first time being on, so it's kind of amazing, I guess. A little starstruck. Yeah,
Hey man, we're longtime listeners of Mystical American Patriot Society, so we feel the same way, man. It's great to have you with us tonight.
yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's before I run icebreaker here, let's just go ahead and take a look at this. Here's Geraldo right here.
The idea was to open the vault on live international television. I'm Geraldo Rivera, and you're about to witness a live television event. A massive concrete vault has been discovered. Some think it belonged to none other than the notorious Al Capone. Well, tonight, for the first time, that vault is going to be open live. Well, what happened that night 20 years ago made pop cultural history and made me the punchline of a million jokes, some of which are still being told. Today, for the first time since it aired in April 1986, here's a portion of the secrets of Al Capone's vault. Now, what, if anything, that vault contains, we don't know. This is an adventure you and I are going to be taking together. But when all was said and done, all I'd found was an old stop sign and a couple of empty gin bottles. It seems, at least up to now that we've struck out with the vault, I'm disappointed about that, as I'm sure you are. Then I swallowed my pride and kept my word. I promised all the critics that if we didn't find anything, I'd sing a song. So, Chicago, that Hovland town. All right, I'm going. I'll see you. I was humiliated and deeply embarrassed. Then the next morning, the ratings started coming in. And the telephone in my hotel room where I was hiding out would not stop ringing. The mystery of Al Capone's vaults was, and still is, the highest rated syndicated special in the history of television.
Spectacular fail.
Do you think that's what's going to be in Fort Knox when Trump and Elon head over there with their golden chainsaw? They're going to find a stop sign and 2 empty gin bottles.
It's fun bunch of bricks and a gold spray can.
I'm pretty confident in what they're not going to find is any gold.
Yeah, right. Maybe they'll find some passports, some like terrorist passports from Nightmares Past or something like that. Maybe oh, what happened to Ruckus? Ruckus just dropped. I don't know. Maybe a box that Joe Biden was going to put next to his Corvette in the garage. What happened, Ruckus?
No idea.
Go ahead, Cavi.
I was kind of on team the vault is empty, but now I kind of want to be on the team. What if there's more gold there than there's supposed to be?
Right?
That's a lot more fun.
I mean, what if there was like a giant pile there and we could just, I mean, is this too simplistic to think we could just like pay off a few trillion of the debt if we had like, you know, a Smaug like pile of doubloons in there? I don't know. Hey, it's Sage Morrison's birthday. Happy birthday, Sage Morrison. We love Sage Morrison. Yeah. Sage is awesome. Long-time listener, big supporter of the show. Happy birthday, Sage.
Happy birthday, Sage. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah, same thing may happen at Fort Knox. Hey guys. Yeah, Awake Jake, you're on it, man. That's what we're thinking too. I don't know. What do you guys in the chat think they'll find in there? Sound off in the chat. Let us know if you think there are big piles of doubloons next to the Ark of the Covenant or an IOU on a matchbook, maybe.
Maybe they'll find Al Capone.
Al Capone's corpse. Yeah. All right. Rats and dust, says Maz. Yeah, perhaps. Why has that been a mystery for so long? You'd think if we've had this cool, I don't think any of us growing up here in the United States didn't hear or think about Fort Knox. I mean, Cavi, is that like a thing of legend where you grew up too, or is this just an American phenomenon?
No, I've definitely grown up hearing about Fort Knox and all the gold.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious to know what's in there.
it's like on the one hand, if there was a bunch and they moved it, I wouldn't blame them. I mean, wouldn't that make it like a long-standing target for thieves, or is it really just, completely impenetrable? Did they clear it out? Did Bill Clinton go in and clear it out? Mystical Pharaoh, what do you think? Did he go in there and take all the
Dude,
gold bars?
dude, it's so funny. Why the hell did you say that? Because I was just thinking they're gonna go in and they're gonna find Bill Clinton taking a blowjob from Monica, and I was gonna say that, and then you just said this.
Dude, I think we might be onto something here. Like, I mean, we're wargaming it a little bit, but something's telling multiple people
That's,
here that the
that is
Clintons have
exactly
something to
what I
do
was
with
just
it.
thinking about. Bill Clinton and sitting in there and just taking a blowjob.
Yep. Like gold leafed cigars and just paintings from him and his
I have a
friends.
hot take about it. I think that they're gonna make a grand spectacle of it, and they're about to do the reveal, and then something's gonna happen, some major event, and like, oh, well, sorry, we have to put this on hold because aliens just landed on the White House lawn or some shit.
Yeah, the blue dress. Brian's like, what if they just find the blue dress? Isn't that in the Smithsonian or something? I do recall the dress being like what do you call that? Not memorialized, but placed in a historical location or something.
Hey, speaking of dresses in Fort Knox, did you guys see this thing? Donald Trump was at the what was it, Daytona? Was it one of these NASCAR things that was happening over the weekend?
I heard something about it.
Yeah,
What was
Daytona 500.
Yeah, okay, the Daytona 500. So he shows up and he's got one of his granddaughters. I think the granddaughter, it's the young one, the girl, Carolina, I think is her name. And this was just literally on the heels, excuse the metaphor of using heels, and you'll see why, right on the heels of them talking about how they're going to go into Fort Knox and the gold and all that. And there's Donald Trump getting pictured with his little granddaughter, and the little granddaughter is wearing a t-shirt dress thing with a rainbow on it, and she's also wearing ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz. And if you know about the Wizard of Oz and that the whole hidden story behind that is it's all about the gold stuff. So it was very, very symbolic, a lot of esoteric symbolism going on, driving the Q crowd nuts.
Of course. That's not difficult to do though, is it?
No.
That's weird. Yeah, that is full of symbology there, isn't it? What's with this? We went from Baron's time traveling adventures and Elon the scientist in these stories, and now we're getting some Oz vibes there. Interesting.
And I had just gotten done watching because Sam Cheney at Weaponized News had been playing that old documentary Money Masters, and it was like perfect timing for that too, because he started playing that before the announcement about Fort Knox. So I highly recommend people watch that documentary if you've never seen it, or if it's been a long time since you've seen it, because it'll bring a nice fresh perspective to this whole golden age and what's about to happen with Fort Knox. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. We'll link to that on the show page. I think that's freely available on YouTube these days.
Yeah.
It's been out there for a while, actually. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Bill Stills, I think was the guy's name, right?
Yeah, Bill Stills. Man, I forgot about him. I used to follow him like daily almost. He had some interesting stuff. Okay, well, we're kind of already ice broken, but screw it. Here's one out of our icebreaker suggestion room here, and Lily Phillips, who we discussed on the show a few weeks back, the woman who slept with 100 men in 24 hours, announces she's pregnant. It's official. Oh my. So 23-year-old adult content creator rose to fame late last year after completing a challenge to have sex with 100 men in 24 hours. If you saw the video, I think we might have played some of it. She seemed a little upset after completing the challenge. And then a few days later, raised the stakes and announced that she wanted to star in another challenge to sleep with 1,000 men. Generated a great deal of controversy, of course. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of criticism also. They say even Phillips had to share the results of a sexually transmitted disease test she took after the event. In a post on X, she showed that she had tested negative for all these different things. I'm not going to go through the list. But now the challenge will have to wait a while because Lily Phillips announced on Wednesday that she's pregnant. It's official, the adult content creator said on her personal Instagram account. She uploaded a video and a photo where she made the announcement. The model posed with, the belly and a smile on her lip. Okay, what's the deal? How is she that pregnant? Like, what is the timeline on all this stuff? I'm a little unclear on all this. And no mention of who got her pregnant. So, what do you guys think? Did this happen during the event? It seems like the event was less than 9 months ago. I mean, clearly she's not 9 months full term, but she looks like she's been pregnant for a while there. Was she pregnant when she did that? That's my first question.
How dare you?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'm not allowed to ask, right? I'm not a biologist.
How are they going to determine? Since the grand assumption, of course, is that it's one of the 100 plus. Because I guess she did a little bit more than just 100, just for good measure, I guess. Wow, 6. This woman has absolutely no morals. There, I said it. This is crazy. But yeah, the conspiracy theory would suggest that maybe she had gotten knocked up. Maybe it was Elon. You never know. And then she was trying to hide it by saying, well, I know, I'll just sleep with 100 guys. And then bam, there we go. And it's like, oh, I wish I knew who the father was, but dearie me, it's impossible. Even Maury Povich can't save me now.
Seriously, though, Infidel, I mean, Mystical, how does she look this pregnant at this point? I'm just confused by the timeline here.
I don't know. I'm actually just Googling if a woman had sex with more than one man at the same night, who can be the father?
Oh, that's going to change your algorithm. Boy, you took one for the team here, dude.
I would have asked Grok.
Yeah, we should have. Maybe that's what I will do. I will try Grok 3.0 and see how that works. No, it's really, this whole thing is just ridiculous. Because Hair and this other woman, what's her name? Clear Blue or something blue?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that the other one is pregnant too, or am I just imagining?
Isn't Clear Blue the name of a pregnancy test?
Yes.
Well, that there is a woman called something Blue that slept with a Southern man too.
Okay.
Let me see. Sorry, guys.
This
I don't
is like
have
a
their names.
cottage industry of OnlyFans, I guess. Just like sheer numbers.
Yeah, because I think they have a competition.
Yeah, she's competing with another OnlyFans person, and the other one claims to have beaten her record. But
Bonnie Blue, Bonnie Blue is the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least she has the porno name.
Yeah, really.
Here I actually, she's also pregnant. And here I'll post that link here.
She's just trying to bite Lily's style, man. You got to pick a team here, I think.
They're both pregnant?
Yeah.
What if it's the same father?
What if it's just AI is the father?
Are the same dudes going to both of these performances? I don't know what to call them. Atrocities. Look, there they are. Okay, so if you're watching, you can see it here from
they even look the same. They look the same. They have the same duck lips. Jesus Christ. That's what happened when you suck that many. I don't know.
Dead eyes. The bovine eyes. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Whoa, we're getting into the down and dirty here. Bonnie Blue makes true feelings on Lily Phillips clear with sudden cancellation. Tensions seem to be brewing between controversial adult stars Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, and experts fear the rivalry will only drive more extreme sex challenges with potentially damaging consequences. Wow, I'm not going to bother to read any more of that, but I will link on the show page.
In the first paragraph, it said there the one was accusing the other of copying her.
Well, I mean, you know what they say. You have to always surround yourself with people that challenge you, right? So I think It's a healthy competition. Just keep
Yeah.
it going.
Maybe you shouldn't compare yourself to others, just do your best. If you can do 100 and she can do 1,000, well, I guess you got to do 1,000.
I don't think this is what the Bible meant when they said, never mind. Be
Yeah.
fruitful and multiply.
Right? Yeah, not that kind of fruitful, not that kind of multiplication. So she thinks she's just gonna put that off, have a child, be a new mom, and then do that. I mean, what? This just
No,
feels
she'll find Jesus first, and then she'll do a complete 180 and rebrand herself, and then go from there.
oh, like maybe she could be a trad wife influencer.
100%.
All right, all right.
I think Cavi's onto something there.
Yeah, Lily Phillips or Bonnie Blue, if you're out there and you need some rebranding help, Cavi is here for you. So you can email us here at Alternate Current Radio. Yeah.
So Grok, I asked Grok, what happens when a woman sleep with 1,000 men in one day? And the answer is, it seems like you're posting a hypothetical or exaggerated scenario. Physically and logistically, it is impossible for a woman or anyone to sleep with 1,000 men in a single day due to time, constraint, human endurance, and basic biology. A day
Grok
has,
is accusing them of lying?
I guess so. It say it has 24 hours, which is 1,440 minutes, dividing by 1,000 would leave less than 1.5 minute per encounter. So Grok is raising the same question I asked myself: is this shit is real or not?
Yeah.
So I think it is not.
Logistical questions.
I'm sure there's plenty of Minutemen out there, guys. Come on.
Yeah, and then there's always the whole 5 at once thing. Does it count when there's
Okay, it is doable because there is enough time. It just doesn't mean that there's actual, the guy's not going to get his jollies off unless he's a Minuteman. So it's like it's like a speed dating. So they have like a bell. They're like, okay, 30 seconds, ding, next, pull them out, get them in.
Dude, this is getting
exactly what they did. They got 5 minutes each or something like that, and they rotated them in.
Wow. That sounds awful. What kind of guy goes to one of those? I mean, my God.
One guy even brought flowers. There's the photo of the bed afterwards, and there's some flowers just sitting there.
Is this the one was sitting in the chair and watching?
Yeah.
So I asked Grok, because he's saying that, if you want to be more, if this is a thought experiment or a question about something else, just ask. So I asked, I want to know if they can be pregnant, and if so, who will be the father? And then apparently, like, a multiple father can happen. So if a woman released multiple eggs during ovulation,
every single one's getting some.
It is theoretically possible for two different men to father fraternal twins in the same pregnancy. This is a rare phenomenon called heteropaternal superfundation.
Translated, it means your mother was a whore.
Your mom's a slut. They would have to come up with a real sciencey, verbose term for that. My goodness. Clinical. All right. Well, I guess that's going to be down to DNA testing. Either that, or does she have a steady? Maybe she is a steady guy who doesn't care that she's a big giant whore. And
I'd be proud to be that guy.
I don't say big giant whore in the pejorative way. I mean,
No, we're being nice. We're just factual speaking.
Sex workers out there, but I mean, just dictionary definition style.
Dictionary. I see what you did.
Yeah. So she posts. Okay, before we leave this topic, does anyone know? My friends are all pretty cool, so no one probably knows. Does anyone know? Like, is this whole thing streamed live? Does she have to look like she's enjoying this the whole time? Like, you know what I mean? Is someone bringing her a hamburger while she's in the middle of it? I mean, are people watching? This whole thing go down. I'm just wondering if it's like what's the point of it if it's just stories about it? It's got to be a video production, right? I mean, yeah, okay, so there's a documentary on TV on YouTube about it, but like for the OnlyFan people, like I imagine they were watching. I don't know.
I don't know about the video part, but when this first exploded, she did this giant post of the logistics of how it worked. And they had rented this whole area. They had greeters, and the people would come in and they would kind of line up and go to their assigned areas. Then they had fluffers, and then they would rotate them in and then rotate them out. And it was like super mechanical and everything, the way they were doing it. And yeah, she wrote this big blog post breaking down how everything worked and thanking everybody who was involved. And there was a whole bunch of support staff that were helping out.
I'd like to thank all the fluffers and the support staff and Diddy for the 1,000 bottles of lube.
I will point out this is a good sign right here, because this is clearly proof that we are finally moved past the COVID era. That would not fly during the pandemic.
Okay. Mystical Pharaoh, what do you got here, man? What is this?
No, I just kept going with Grok and asked him, would Jesus support her actions?
Oh, you're abusing
And
Grok now, huh?
And then Grok gave me like that answer.
So you asked Grok what Jesus, he goes, would
Apparently, I mean, it ended up that Grok saying you cannot really judge her because you don't know, what she's going through, or,
of course.
It's a cry for help, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Jesus wouldn't even know what to say. Like one of the apostles would have came up to him, and when they're writing the Bible, and be like, "Hey, do you think we should put something in there about how you shouldn't stage an event where one woman rotates through thousands of guys in like 24 hours?" And Jesus was probably just like, "What's wrong with you?"
Right? Like, why would I need to make a statement about that, you psycho? Well, because 2025, I don't know. Oh my gosh. All right, what's this? Creative Accidents has added a supplemental to the pile here. Thanks, Creative. Porn star Bonnie Blue's controversial video with 1,057 men removed by OnlyFans. What an anticlimax. Okay.
Yeah, she's the one where what they meant by sex wasn't really defined. So I don't know how detailed you want to go into what they counted as sex, because it's gross.
Yeah, we'll leave that for the audience. We'll post it on the show page if you want to get into it. But yeah, they talk about.
I guess logistically speaking, then we're talking about 3 at one time.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
No, it was just there wasn't penetration.
Okay, gotcha.
You're right. Okay. I don't want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had enough. I can't take anymore. This is the depths of whoredom here. Let's get out of it. Let's clean it up a little bit. Let's talk about this. Let's just watch it first. I think it'll speak for itself in many ways here.
Who else is here?
Well, President Milei has a gift for me.
Javier Milei from Argentina. You guys know who that is, right?
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
All this gold at Fort Knox, it's the public's gold. It's your gold. So, I think you have a right to see it.
You want to take a tour?
Yeah. I think we should have do a tour. And then the president last night was like, I think he's in favor of it. That would be cool. And then it should be like a live tour. Like, you can see what's going on, open the door, what's behind it.
All right. Well,
that was about Fort Knox, I think.
Yeah.
So
That
I
whole
have a
thing was
question.
staged, real quick, because before that CPAC thing there, where he's on stage, there's another video where it shows them just in the back, like in the green room or at another function where Malay gives him the chainsaw. He gifted him the chainsaw ahead of time, and then they brought it back out again, pretending like he just gave it to him on stage. Basically, it was weird.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Why are there foreign people coming to CPAC?
It's the new normal, bro.
Yeah, why is Millie in CPAC? What the hell is he doing in CPAC?
Dude,
That's number one question.
I mean, it's interesting because
Especially after what he did with Libra.
well, yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the way like Trump is so popular with people in Europe or something. You know what I mean? There's this like there's like I guess along with populism has come like a much higher level of celebrity than maybe some of these people rate. So yeah, I mean, just look at Elon there. Is just such a doofus, such a goofus. I mean, jumping around, chainsaw. It's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm glad they're having fun over there at CPAC, but at the same time, it's like, what are we looking at here? It's a good question, Infidel. I don't know the answer. I think it's just because they want to, populism is the thing now, and he's considered by so many to be a populist, even with the recent gaffes.
He is a populist, but he's also is. I don't consider him a nationalist, giving all his Zionist, propaganda and him, all his moves. So I don't know. I never trusted that Millie guy from the very beginning. So,
well, I mean, I don't see why Argentina is going to be different than a lot of places right now. The United States government and the CIA, the Mossad, like we're seeing now, like we've known forever, but we're seeing now how much money has gone into regime change and making sure we've got, U.S. friendly leaders in all these countries. So who knows? It could just be in that whole batch of things, and the deep state powers that should not be have wormed their way into some of the populist circles. Because there really wasn't many like national leaders, presidents, MPs, stuff like that you could point out as conservative or nationalist for the longest time, right? Like all the way up until Bolsonaro, and then he was outed. But now we've got a few of them lurking about, and Malay seems to be in with the CPAC crowd. So, take it for what it is, I guess.
It's really not going to look. This is not going to age well once they throw that dude in prison. He's probably going to get impeached and imprisoned for the role he played with that rug pull thing with the Libra coin.
Mm-hmm.
For the listeners who missed it, he got behind. He promoted, like literally promoted this meme coin that he, some team guy. I forgot the guy's name. His last name was Hayden or something. But the guy who created the meme coin came out and they found his tweets, and he was telling somebody. One of the other team leaders in this meme coin, he said that he owns that N-word, referring to the president. So this one guy thinks that he owns the president of Argentina simply because he bribes and pays money to Malay's sister. And it's all like people found it. They found the screenshots. It's all out there. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that Malay allowed himself to be convinced to promote a known scam. Like he knew what he was doing, and he was blackmailed or something. He's not going to last long, I don't think, but we'll see.
Yeah, he pulled the Hakata.
Haktua,
or whatever it is.
He did. Yeah, no kidding, man.
And Dave Portnoy's in trouble. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. He did something similar too, and he rugged.
People are so stupid buying into this like Bitcoin like meme shit. It is silly.
It's on this other chain called Solana, so let's not be hating on Bitcoin, I guess.
Well, I know.
To be fair.
Yeah, no, I know. I actually do think XRB is gonna come up. It's gonna be my first coin to buy. I'm getting ready to buy some of it. But
No,
yeah,
Cardano.
one of the
huh?
You should
one of
buy
the
Cardano.
one of the Bitcoin guys I know is saying XRP is garbage. Don't fall for it. So I don't know.
Really?
There's it's over my head currently, but I'll send you something.
XRP as a project would normally not survive, and it would be a piece of shit coin. However, considering all the people involved are saddled up real nice and cozy with the Trump administration, I think Infidel is correct.
Yeah.
XRP is probably a buy for sure.
And it's especially with what Apple and some of those main guys are actually getting to use it. So I don't know. I don't give financial advice.
Yeah.
Don't take that
Me
from
either.
me.
I don't even do math in public. Screw that. Yeah, the meme coins though, they are flowing right now. It's crazy. Trump even had one we were talking about there with Simon back a couple X spaces ago.
He had two.
Ooh, that's right.
Trump and Melania.
How are his remember when he did those NFTs a couple years back, like in 22 or
Same
something
company.
like that?
Yeah.
Are they
No,
like
the whole NFT thing just died. Are there people even doing NFTs anymore?
how come I don't hear about that anymore? Is no one doing it?
Well, the meme coins are this bull runs, this cycle's meme coins. I mean, sorry, the meme coins are this cycle's NFTs. So the
Gotcha.
same craze that happened last time with NFTs happened this time with the meme coins. NFTs have changed, evolved, and will be a major thing. That's what's now basically referred to as a real world asset. Because what they will do is instead of creating unique, like just JPEGs, which is just a piece of like a picture, that was the NFT thing, right? The non-fungible token. They're going to take what it is about the non-fungible token that makes it so unique, except now they're going to use that to tokenize real-world assets, like property. So, like if you own a house, or let's say you own a Picasso painting, that's a perfect example. It can be fractionalized. So no longer is there the one person owns this one painting. You can have like 1 million people own each owns 1/1,000,000th of the painting because they created, say, 1 million NFTs that are unique, So, yeah, the NFTs have just been, they're still there. They're just going to be called something different. And it's not going to be just pictures anymore. It's going to be tied to real world assets. It's going to be tied to stocks. It's going to be tied to bonds, all sorts of shit. And that Larry Fink of BlackRock is very, very excited about doing this. And I'm keeping a close watch on that space. They're hooked up with something called Ondo. That's another one. If you guys are into cryptocurrency, take a look at that and see if it's something you want to invest in. Not financial advice, but that's what BlackRock is buying a shit ton of. Donald Trump is buying. He's invested. His whole family's invested in Ondo and XRP and all those things. But yeah, NFTs will be how real world assets are brought on chain, if that makes any sense.
Well, it's interesting because I remember one of the times we were talking about NFTs last year or year before. We were talking about the buying up of property. Like there were certain servers that had basically like a world map, and people like Snoop Dogg were in there, making sure he owned his property and stuff like that. So I'm wondering when we get into that next cycle and this becomes more normal, like how smart all of those purchases will have been back then, because some of those were probably like big money maker purchases. Cavi, what about you, man? What do you think about Elon and his chainsaw there? We do a lot of Evil Dead fanboying over here, so we're chainsaw aficionados between Evil Dead and Phantasm, but that one was pretty festooned and ornate, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was it like a special gold-plated chainsaw or something? Like, why did he just give him a chainsaw?
That's what I want to know. Let's see if I can get a better picture of it. Elon's chainsaw. Let's see. No.
It's a pretty sick looking chainsaw, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want one. Here, let's see if I can bring it up on screen, maybe with like a freeze frame or something. It's on the ground there in front of them, but my playhead's kind of like on top of it. Let's go back right. I guess that's about as close as we're gonna get right there.
Because all these world leaders seem to be gifting bizarre objects. Like, didn't Netanyahu give Trump a pager? And now this
Yeah,
guy's
dude.
giving him a chainsaw, and like,
Give
why?
him 2.
Yeah, that was weird. I have that actually. I can bring that up. We had it on last week's show. I've got the link here nearby, I think. Holy cow, that's a lot of links. Yeah, anyway, I'll find that in a minute. But yeah, there are some strange gifts going around, right? And like Trump put his mugshot outside the Oval Office. Like the gift giving and decorating by the new regime is pretty interesting.
It's funny. It seems I was reading that Trump loves whoever comes to the Oval Office to show them where Bill Clinton was getting the BJ from Monica.
I saw that, dude. I saw Kid Rock telling that story. Yeah, that was great.
We are just so immature of a country, guys and gals.
Yeah. Yeah, gold pagers, tree stumps from Gaza, chainsaws. This is what is the Christmas list going to look like? My goodness, there's some strange stuff going around. Well, I watched, let's see. I'm going to see if I can come up with this video that I watched because it was interesting. Of course, I'm logged into the wrong account here. Let me just swap accounts and look at my history.
You know, Trump was just praising the CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla. Maybe he gave Trump like a gold-plated jab or something.
Yeah, and he got booed pretty bad, which is good.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Deserve it. Well deserved.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Is this it? No. It was I'll find it in a minute here. Here we go. This might be. So did you guys see all this stuff about the Social Security records?
How about the old people?
Yeah, did you watch that?
I've seen something about it, but I haven't watched what.
All right, check this out. This clip's a little longer than I would like to play, but we'll see how it goes.
It's a very sad situation. Yeah, please.
In a court filing, the White House said that Elon Musk is not a DOJ employee and has no authority to make decisions. Can you clarify for us today?
Well, Elon Musk.
Role is there?
Yeah. Elon is, to me, a patriot. So, you could call him an employee, you could call him a consultant, you could call him whatever you want. But he's a patriot. I mean, look at the kind of things I just said. Just write it down, just in case that question got asked, right? And which I'm surprised it took so long, actually. But you know what? Ukraine's a bigger deal because people are dying by the thousands a week, thousands. But look at this, from 90 to 99, Social Security, 6,054,000 people. Well, that's okay. Maybe that's possible. 90 to 99, maybe it's possible. It's a lot of people, though, at that. But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,734,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. They're 4 million people. I don't know too many. I know people that are doing great in their 90s, but not too many people over 100. But over 120, from 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. Wow. That can't possibly be because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old, 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000, 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going because we're looking to break the record by 25 years People from 150 years old to 159 years old, 1,345,000. These are in the, by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well. They're super. I asked Elon, who are these Doge people? He said they're super brilliant computer people and they love the country. It's simple. Wait a minute. People from 160 years old to 169 years, 121,000. So 160-year-old people. 170 to 179,000, 6,087. But now let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old, 879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039.
It's crazy.
And then you have two people from 240 years old to 249 years old, one person. And there's one person that's 360 years old.
Dude, that is insane.
Isn't that last person older than the country itself?
Yeah. Seriously, what's
He's one of the founding fathers. To just have them on the record.
Great grandfather,
The founding father's father.
That's insane. Ugh.
Hey, this is just proof that life extension technology already exists. We demand answers, Trump.
Yeah. There's some freaking 300-year-old Nephilim living in like Manhattan that's been getting, collecting social security checks since they established it. Like he got check number 1.
It's just amazing because they were trying to tell us, yeah, you're paying all that shit in social security, but you're not gonna get it. And for all what it's worth, they actually been stealing this money. It seems like it.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching other footage from one of the Senate hearings or Congress hearings, and they're saying we have like 8 years left of Social Security and Medicare at this rate. You know what I mean? Because they had a bunch of people from the Democrat side of the aisle like criticizing them for doing audits, but their only criticisms were why can someone have this much access? You can't see this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I forget who said it, but somebody was saying that's like if you own a store and someone comes in and commits fraud in your store, and then someone else comes and a third party comes and tells you about it, you want to have that person arrested for exposing the fraud against yourself, And it seems to be everywhere, everywhere. Like I guess that's the thesis at this point for Doge, right? Is that anything they look at is full of fraud.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what we knew that government is just full of fraud.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, cool. You discovered this, you reported it. What do we do next? What happens next? How'd it get that way?
Somebody somewhere is going to get fired, but not locked up.
You're fired. Yeah. Okay. So that was interesting. He goes on here. I don't know if I should keep playing it or not, but answers some questions. It's just so interesting at this point to see like anyone from the White House talking to anyone, like the amount of communications and visibility happening are like jarring after 4 years of, word salad and all this weird stuff. Have you noticed that, Cabby? Like it's just almost like jars you a little bit to like see so much.
Yeah, it's almost like we're desensitized to it too at this point. Like,
yeah,
I'm not even surprised. And then like next week, it's going to be another crazy thing. And then the week after that, another crazy thing. And you'll have even forgotten about this one.
And will there be 2 plane crashes a week also for us to try to figure out too? Holy cow, dude. Did you see that shit? That plane was that was landing in Canada, wasn't it?
The unmanned one?
The one that flipped upside down and broke a wing off and everybody survived?
Yeah, it was piloted by a bunch of women who were bragging about how they were doing unmanned flights.
That's right. I saw an article about that. What the that didn't go very well, did it?
No, but I think at least everyone survived, so that's
Yeah,
good.
80 people aboard. Everyone survived. Some of them were hanging from the roof, if you will, like bats. Yeah, that was nuts, man. And then there was like Vince Neil's plane crashed, and of course there was that helicopter that crashed into that airplane. There was like I've lost track actually. I saw there was a plane that went down in Arizona yesterday or day before. It's been
The
nutty.
one in Philly or
Philly?
Pennsylvania.
Yep. Yep. A fighter jet went down. It's a lot of this stuff going on.
Yeah, I know
It's
they're
going
they're
down.
they're like to blame DEI, but it seems like weird why DEI is all of a sudden a problem now.
I know it's the scapegoat for everything now. It's just like, okay, guys, it's like, could we get some more detail on this? I mean, what's the deal? Are
If it
these,
was the last admin, they would have blamed climate change.
yeah, like are these reverse psyops? Are these the better psyops everybody was asking for? Or is this just the negligence all?
I guess we all of a sudden forgot about all of the scandals that was happening with all the airlines and the unsafeness about the
Right?
actual vehicles themselves, which had nothing to do with the people.
We've been talking about this for 4 years, like a lot, especially between here and TNT. My goodness, talked to so many people about it. FAA, Phil Washington, when they tried to put Phil Washington in, it's just been all the nasty stuff going on with Boeing, with the Chinese parts and the QA, lack of QA. It's just one thing after another. That whole Max.
No matter who's responsible, the end result is the same. And that is that more people on a daily, hourly basis are choosing to no longer fly. They're scared to. Neat.
Well, Ruckus, you're a trendsetter, so it makes me think back to this news report. Let's see if I can bring this up. Share this tab. This is a classic for anyone that hasn't seen the Bang Ding Ow video. Here you go. You're welcome. Actual newscast from San Francisco.
Coroner is still trying to determine the cause of death and whether she was already dead when the truck hit her. We have new information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. The NTSB has confirmed these are the names of the pilots on board Flight 214 when it crashed. We are working to determine exactly what
Did she
role
say one pilot name is Holy Fuck?
Yeah, look on the screen there. Fook. No, it's Fook.
Holy fuck.
Ah, yes. Rest in peace, Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Huli Fook, and Bang Ding Ow. R.I.P.
Somebody totally trolled that lady, 100%.
Yeah. That is the story behind that. It was not true, everybody. Those were not people that died. Although I don't remember the story of Asiana Flight 214, if that is a real crash or not. And just the info was a troll. I'd be interested to refresh the memory on
Clearly a disgruntled employee at the news station.
How do you not catch that, man? Like the fact that made it to the teleprompter is so choice.
It's like Anchorman. He'll read anything you put on the teleprompter.
Yep.
Sex Panther. That's right. Fleety goes total Bart Simpson troll. You're right, dude. Very Bart Simpson-esque.
Or when he would call the bar, right, and ask for somebody on the phone.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's see here. What else do we got going? What else do we got going this week? Kash Patel has been confirmed as FBI director, 51 to 49 votes. So the Voltronic team is becoming more powerful here. Kash Patel walking into the FBI any moment now. That's interesting.
What's his past?
You know, I don't have it in my gray matter.
He was in the Trump National Security Council, I think, and he's the one who investigated Russia collusion.
Right. Okay, so for anyone else wondering, we'll just give it to you. Full name Kashyap Parmod Vinod Patel, otherwise known as Kash Patel, born 1980. He's an American lawyer, former federal prosecutor. I'm reading from Wikipedia here. Okay, so this is the Ministry of Truth here. They go on to say, and are you ready for this? A conspiracy theorist who is the designate director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Let's stop right there for a second. Isn't that amazing? Wikipedia. So Philip Cross, probably the ubiquitous account out there at Langley, most likely, that manages Wikipedia. They still have Kash Patel designated as a like right before. Let me just read that again. Former federal prosecutor and official and conspiracy theorist who is the designate director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He did serve on the National Security Council as an official chief of staff to the acting U.S. Secretary of Defense, senior advisor to the acting director of national intelligence, all during the first presidency of Donald Trump. So he's a Trump loyalist, and that's what he did in the first in the 45 presidency, and he's a conspiracy theorist. So that's code word for you're popular now. I mean, it used to be a pejorative, I guess, but now it's like you're more popular.
Was it because he didn't believe in climate change? Was he against the shots, or was he
Russiagate,
a Q guy?
It's Russiagate, I think, which is hilarious because everybody at this point, this is why this is such an inversion. Philip Cross, come on, man. I mean, most people at this point know it's public knowledge that the whole Russiagate thing was a complete farce. So that is the actual conspiracy theory is the one that the mainstream media wove, but somehow Kash Patel is the conspiracy theorist because of that. Interesting choice there, guys.
He probably spread lies about the baseless and unfounded theory that the 2020 election was stolen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was caught up in some of those proceedings too, back in those days. So yeah, that he's had some interesting commentary about the FBI. So it's gonna be interesting to see what all these people do as they start filling the offices. Maybe are they emptying offices? That's the first thing I would want to know about people like Tulsi and Cash and RFKJ. Like, do you go in and clean house? Do you go in and do your best Donald Trump impression and be like, "You're fired, you're fired, you're fired"? You know what I mean? Is there a moment of that? Like, how does that? I would love to know how that all goes down. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of policy changes happen once these cabinet people put butts in seats, right?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to him and see how he's going to clean house because FBI has just been out of control. They created a whole narrative the last few years of this domestic terrorism, and they expanded like the capacity of the agency in a crazy way. We spoke like few episodes back about 5,000 or 5,500 agents were investigating J6, right?
Yeah.
And they took the same forces and they start like going after domestic terrorists, which is parents protesting in school, like boards, and people like standing in front of abortion clinics just praying, right? So I'm looking forward to see how he's going to clean house and return it back to the agency it's supposed to be. I don't know if it ever was or not, but hopefully it's something that actually more useful to us as American people.
Yeah.
And,
I'd prefer they just shut it down
I,
and then build something new, new and appropriate if we really need it. But I think that the 800,000 cops we have in this country should be fine enough without a federal agency like that.
But who's going to investigate the X-Files?
The mommy blogger sphere, of course.
the aliens.
All the true crime experts. They'll take over all that stuff.
Dude, there is so many like nerdy people. The Doge people investigate. There will be better investigators. Just unleash them online, and they're gonna get to the bottom of all this shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, internet sleuthing is at an all-time high right now. I don't
like. There's so many nerdy people out there
Dude,
that just love
it's
this
huge.
shit.
It's huge. It's all the rage right now. There are streaming services with big name actors and producers that are writing shows that are completely centered around podcasting and true crime and all this stuff. And like Spore and I were watching some mainstream news today, and like almost everything we watched was mainstream news people analyzing something that a podcaster said, or you know what I mean. It's like podcasters and influencers are what mass media cartels have to feature now, so that anyone will even fucking care about them or watch their garbage. Which is hilarious to me. I absolutely love it, man. Because I remember when we first started doing all this. I've told this story before on the show, but when we first started doing this, I remember hanging out at my buddy's house. Shout out to Fjord if you're out there. I remember hanging out at my buddy's house after work, and we were deep in it. We were a couple years, actually like four or 5 years into being heavily involved with live streaming and podcasting. And this was probably back in 2013 or 14, and we were watching some Comedy Central over there, and the Mark Maron show was on, and shout out to Mark Maron also, because he was at it way before Joe Rogan and a lot of other people, mainstream people. And he was doing a comedy show. I don't remember what it was called, but he played a podcaster on the show, and he would podcast from his garage. And his dad was super skeptical. Like, his dad was the skeptic, and he's like, "What are you doing in there?" And he's like, "I'm podcasting." And I just always remember this line from the guy that played his dad. He goes, "Podcasting? No one's gonna do that." And he turns around and he walks away. And that like struck me, because a lot of my people that I knew in real life would dismiss what we were doing in a similar way. And now it's like even mainstream media can't, you know what I mean? They have to feature Joe Rogan on Fox all the time, not him sitting there, not that he'll take their call. They'll just play part of his podcast and talk about it. I mean, it's
crazy.
Who'd have thought this would, happen to this extent?
His show was called WTF, right?
Might have been. Yeah. I think that might be it. Yeah, I distinctly remember that episode and just being like, yes, that's how we get talked to. All right. Let's see here. So Kash Patel, and then we had what's this one, Ruckus? Trump cancels State Department media subscriptions. What is that all about? What are the State Department's media subscriptions?
I don't know. I saw it on all of the news feeds, so I just wrote it down as a headline. I didn't.
Political thing?
Maybe.
Well, they were paying. Politico had these $30,000 a month subscriptions that a bunch of people in the State Department, I think, were buying. So they weren't directly getting the U.S. aid money. They were buying these crazy subscriptions.
Aha. Okay. So another grift, basically.
Yep.
More fraud. Okay, here out of New York Post. There it is. There you are, Adam. Let's see here. Out of New York Post, Trump cancels State Department subscriptions to New York Times, AP, and Reuters. So they ordered the State Department to terminate all non-essential news subscriptions to outlets like those, and Bloomberg. Move, which was first reported by the Washington Post, comes amid a broader effort to slash government expenditures. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I see no problem there. Maybe like the public information officer might need one. There's certain people on in certain, offices that might need it, but yeah, if they're handing these out in mass, that's not necessary. Pay for your own freaking news.
Or if I
Then
were these news outlets, I would at least be offering the local government in the country where we're operating, hey, you guys get our shit for free.
yeah,
You know?
I bet CNN is really bummed out, and a whole bunch of others because their only ratings come from like hotels, airports, and apparently federal buildings. So their ratings are going to crash further.
We have been wondering for the longest time how some of these media outlets have been staying afloat as they're losing viewerships and whatnot. So this explains a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah. Cavi, did you notice that when they defunded USAID, like Politico immediately was unable to pay like people? So there's journalists, so-called journalists out there who like once this money was taken away, like immediately, like their pay was coming directly,
Yeah, there was Politico and a bunch of other people, and probably as you go, you're going to see more and more people having payroll glitches and, oops, we can't figure out why we can't pay you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. One of our contributing partners didn't pony up this month. May have to make some cuts. I mean, geez, CNN has cut like they've done multiple 100-person rounds of cuts at this point.
I expect you're going to see more and more people. It's one of the interesting things that I saw someone bring up was those Doge people. They're a bunch of nerds who work in software, and the one thing they're really great at is finding the single point of failure. And they figured out where that is in the US government, and they just cut that off, and it just like took everything with it.
Right. Like, okay, here's a great example of that. I saw one today where they were talking about one of these giant buckets of inefficiency. I can't even remember which one it was, but they have like in their contracting system, like in the digital system where they're putting in, the payment. So, and this goes out to like, people that work in contracting or comptrollers, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about, but like you get a proposal or whatever, standard form. There's a field on there where you put what the purchase is for. Okay. I think it's actually in this video that we stopped halfway through where Trump was listing inefficiencies. He was talking about this. There were $30 million transfers being made to other countries, and they would have like a title on them. But many of them didn't even have titles, and it was an optional field. And one of these, people from the Doge or whatever, what a simple solution. Change that field from optional to required. Oh, who would have thought, it's just like a single point of failure right there. And that's the kind of thing they could have had a programmer turn off. I'll just turn off that. Don't make that, oh, Trump administration's coming in. Well, turn off that required field on that, or, who knows, decade ago, that field may have been turned off, but just a little on off switch, created a giant, like, hole in the money sieve. And was fully exploited. You know what I mean? Fully exploited. We're talking billions of dollars just
It's crazy.
pissed away to other countries. Like voter integrity and other, you've heard the list of all the stupid shit,
Did anybody see that Joe Rogan interview with, I think, Mike Benz was his name?
Yeah, I saw. I've been watching a bit of Mike Benz's stuff lately.
Because yeah, all of that like weird like transgender basket weaving in Guatemala was like aimed at regime change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all black. It's all black money that they were funneling to do regime change. It's
right. Like they're not even using it for what they're saying they're
No,
using it
no.
for.
No.
You got to get that through your skull. I mean, I doubt anyone watching this show needs to get it through their skull, but loads of people that we all know need to get this through their skull. Like billions, trillions of dollars, your money, debt that you now owe. We all have like a $400,000 debt, every single American, if we wanted to balance the book all at once, has just been fraudulently stolen. Like, if you're cool with like your tax dollars going to transgender underwater basket weaving in Somalia and rescuing democracy in Romania, while at the same time the CIA is advising them to cancel elections because of TikTok, your money's not going to that. Your money is not going to that. It's going to regime change and shit like that. It's just, I don't know. It's so interesting to watch all this stuff get publicized.
Are you saying they weren't really studying underwater basket weaving in Syria?
That's right. I am.
What are you, some sort of Cash Patel?
Yeah, conspiracy theorist is going to be on my Wikipedia page probably. All right, speaking of people losing their jobs, fellas, we've got IRS fires 6,000 employees. How about that? This was out today on USA Today. Fires 6,000 employees as Trump and Elon Musk slash U.S. government. Tearful executives are telling staffers today that a bunch of them would be fired. That's 6% of the agency's workforce. I'd say that's pretty nice of this administration to only slash that by 6%. That's another agency that should probably just be shuttered.
I hope it's the ones who are armed.
Yeah. Yeah.
64,000 that he hired.
Yeah.
Didn't he hire 64,000?
I think it was.
I don't think they did.
They say they did. They say they did. But yeah, we never actually saw it. Yeah. And a lot of talk about dropping the income tax altogether. I think this would be a great time to drop the income tax. Now is your moment. If you're really going to do the American people a favor and drop the income tax, do it now while everybody is seeing how their tax dollars have been spent and the amount of debt they've been stuck in.
I've not seen any evidence of any of them talking about actually ending income tax, but only ending the IRS.
Hey, that would be a great step in the right direction. I'll take it.
Well, what if they want to try to tax you a different way? They don't need the IRS to say, I don't know, automatically microtransaction the hell out of you
I'm
every
not
time
worried.
you buy
I'm
something.
not worried about tomorrow so much as I am like getting rid of this odious beast that's sitting on everybody's chest right now. I mean, we'll fight the next one when it raises its ugly head, but I'm cool with decapitating this one. That'd be cool by me. But yeah, I mean, obviously we know where it's headed, and it's like, if they're willing to cut all this stuff, you got to wonder, like, could this possibly be some sort of resource consolidation and destruction of, like, let's air the dirty laundry, let's get rid of it, but at the same time, like, I don't know, there's a marketing whiff to it.
I'm also, I'm not going to feel too much pity on all of these government workers who've had cushy jobs for God knows how long, suddenly losing them because it turns out they were just a bunch of bloat and waste and fraud. But like, it's never a good thing for anybody's economy to suddenly start firing people. So what are the repercussions of this, I wonder?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, because if it was 10 years ago, it would be like, well, these people will just cycle back into the civilian workforce. But now, like, a lot of the jobs those people had are going to be automated. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where everything falls on that.
UBI, anyone?
Perhaps. Okay. What else? U.S. designates Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations. This is another one that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Elon Musk jumped right on that, and he says, this means that drones are on the table. We're going to start droning. We're going to do what Obama did, except we're going to do it in Mexico now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Cavi? Military action against cartels. What do you think about that?
I don't really know. Like, Yeah, I don't really know that much about Mexico or the border really relationship down there, but I imagine like they're probably I know they're running like chunks of Mexico, so they're probably incredibly powerful, and I'm sure there's probably gonna have some repercussions if you start a war with them.
Yeah, man. I maybe this is I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Maybe this is too simplistic, but to me it just seems like we build we have a proper wall, we have a proper procedure for people coming in, uh, and we have a proper procedure for criminals that need to go out or go into the justice system here. And these things will all take care of themselves without declaring war on a militarized arm of Mexico, basically, like these cartels are at war with each other. They're in bed with factions of, the larger Mexican government and the smaller Mexican government too. So I don't know. Just seems like I don't know. I would like to see foreign military bases closed down and soldiers be coming home, not opening up new fronts of battle. You know what I mean? But who knows? Um, I did notice that Sean Ryan and his cadre are still pushing this potential, right? Talking about they were even talking up. He had Travis Haley on, and they were talking up domestic terrorism, and it was interesting watching Travis Haley wrestle with that because he noted how many American veterans had been put on that list. Also, like people from their community, if you will. But at the same time, talking about what a problem uh, domestic extremism was. So I don't know. There's messaging coming out of that show, and it turns out that Sarah Adams chick, the CIA targeter gal, uh, is not just a guest on that show. She's part of the team in the background. So, interesting. I learned that just yesterday. So yeah, there's a lot of people excited about that. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of mainstream conservatives that would be stoked to see the U.S. military go after the Mexican cartels. I don't know. What do you think, Mystical Pharaoh?
Uh, uh, I about the drone or about the cartel?
About the fact that there is probably a large contingency of Americans who would be in support of the U.S. military uh,
Yeah.
going after the cartels.
No, no, it's. I think it's really stupid to do that. I don't think it's number one. I don't agree with. I think there should be like actually like international laws against using drones with AI. I think it should be banned because I think that's inhumane. That's number one. I just want to mention that. Two, I think it's silly for the military to go after the cartels. It's not our war. I think he needs to secure the borders. He needs to slap Mexico with whatever he needs to do to make sure that they fight their own cartel, not us going in there and getting stuck. It's because it's a street wars. Like really, you think you're gonna go with normal military and like fight the cartel in the streets? That's like going and fighting Hamas or
Yeah.
yeah, it's silly. So that's not a fight you want to go fight with the military.
No, I mean, it's much more simply accomplished by just having a proper border, proper process,
That's right. That's
using
right.
the law. We have laws in place for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We don't
That's
need to
right.
start a war.
That's exactly and put the right border security, force Mexico to do their job, and it's gonna be okay. But don't go get stuck.
That's right. All right. Let's see here. Ruckus sent us this one. The nationalpulse.com. Mexico warns U.S. against violating its sovereignty following drug cartel foreign terrorist designation. That's the headline. So the Mexican government issued a warning to the U.S. regarding its territorial sovereignty in response to Trump's decision to classify 6 major Mexican organized crime groups as foreign terrorist organizations. That part I don't really have a problem with. That's fine. They probably should be designated as such. Just
Mhm.
don't want to see like, our Rangers have to go down there and fight them or something like that. At least not in an offensive situation. Let's see. 2 respectively were also included in this classification. So Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum emphasized the importance of cooperation in addressing the operations of drug cartels. She went on to say, "We want to make clear with this designation is that we do not negotiate sovereignty. This can't be an opportunity by the United States to invade our sovereignty." So,
Yeah, I don't think that's what he's going after. What he's going after is he want to put the Mexican government under pressure to make sure that they fight them and as well as not cooperate with them. That's what he's trying to do by designating them as terrorist organization. Trump is not stupid.
everybody's getting a little twitchy, aren't they, Cavi? All this talk about taking Canada, taking Greenland. I mean, I guess the Mexico's a little like,
No, we're not going to take Mexico now.
Well, what if like, because Sumo's talked on the Mystical American Patriot Society podcast a bunch of times. He thinks Trump is the new Caesar, and what if he is gonna go crazy and this is just his justification for invading Mexico, and he's just gonna take Mexico by force?
well,
Like,
that would be
what if he is?
bloody. That would be ugly and bloody, I think. But I mean,
We'll just take Cancun.
yeah.
Like, how crazy is it that the president of Mexico's name is Claudia Sheinbaum?
I know. What is that?
No, I mean she's
Super Mexican.
she is a super Mexican. She's a J Mexican.
What kind of name is Sheinbaum anyway? I'll let you
Take
do your own
a guess.
research on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an odd one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So I think that's a resounding no war with cartels here, but thumbs up on designation. I mean, I think that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I can live with that.
I've been actually impressed with not impressed, but I've been happy with what's the Secretary of Defense Higgins
Hegseth?
Hegseth. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of he's actually been. I've been following some of his posts and announcing. I don't know if I feel he's trying to bring some transparency to the DoD. I don't know if that's even possible or not, but I'm really looking forward to see what he's gonna do there.
Yeah, me too. I'm just kind of like, as long as these people aren't talking about geopolitics or technocracy, I'm usually pretty, interested in what's going on. It's when they start talking geopolitics where I get twitchy.
Well, you guys seen Vance's speech to Europe? Have you heard
Yep,
that?
yep,
That was
sure
pretty,
did.
pretty incredible. I was pretty happy.
Made some Germans cry.
Yeah. and then him going to Saudi Arabia and talking directly to the Russian without Zelensky there.
Oh yeah, Lavrov went out there. That was interesting. So who did Lavrov talk to? I haven't got
Rubio.
on this.
It was Rubio there.
Oh, okay. So that's too bad. I wish it would have been. I wish they would have sent someone a little.
Yeah, I know, right?
Better, but
No.
interesting. Yeah, and there's I noticed that in the wake of that Zelensky's really taking a lot of heat on social media.
Yeah, Trump roasted him in one of the tweets yesterday.
I saw it. Oh, thanks, Creative Accidents. Creative Accidents is reminding me. Shout out to all you juggalos out there. The FBI labeled juggalos as a criminal street gang in 2011. This designation was challenged in court by the Insane Clown Posse and the American Civil Liberties Union. of Michigan. Yeah, so their designations don't don't have a lot of intellect behind them sometimes. I mean, really, juggalos, Fago, come on.
Hey, what are juggalos?
Are you familiar with the Insane Clown Posse? I'm glad you asked because some people out there listening may not know.
No, I'm not.
Oh man, the Insane Clown Posse is a piece of American pop music culture that
Okay.
everybody should know about. There they are. There's the
Mm.
Insane Clown Posse. They've been around for quite a while, and they do like rap infused rock music, and they have a almost Grateful Dead like following, but it's slightly more how would I describe it? More colorful, a little more dirt headish, but similar dirt headishness, but different, like angry
Their
hippies.
lyrics are crazy.
Yeah, they write crazy lyrics, and their shows are crazy, and they do these big festivals. It's a whole thing, man. There's a whole culture around it. I guess
They spray the audience with their own branded soda pop called Fago.
yeah,
And it's a thing.
they have
You
their
go
own
to the concert
soda.
just to get sprayed on. It's neat.
I didn't believe that was real when I first heard about that.
I
And
know.
it 100% is real.
Yeah, yep, that's real. So that's your FBI right there. There's documentary about it. I recommend it. It's pretty good. Yeah, interesting piece of culture there. The Juggalos.
So they designated them as terrorist organization?
Yeah, as a criminal street gang. So yeah, basically a terrorist organization, street gang. Like you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah. But why?
Again, their lyrics are crazy.
Yeah, their lyrics are absolutely bananas, and their
The
fans
fans wear that makeup too.
yeah, the fans like you need to see their Juggalo festivals to kind of get a feel for it. Like people like Juggalos are like, Barry Manilow fans or Grateful Dead fans or Fish fans. Like anywhere these guys play, they will hitchhike across the nation in their clown makeup and their, Hot Topic clothes to get to the next Juggalo gathering. I think it's called the Gathering of the Juggalos, I believe is.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, I'm just googling it right now.
Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, they didn't, as far as I know, there's not like any major crimes they're associated with or anything like that. And, I don't know.
Didn't they get accused?
So what's the difference
alongside
between
Marilyn
that and
Manson
Burning
of
Man?
School shootings. Sorry.
Just like that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Burning Man, I would say that's a really good question. Burning Man is going to be more for your techno dork, art geeks, sort of like new agey sort of stuff. And Juggalo Festival is more for like, people that eat Twinkies and drink band branded sodas and, live under a bridge. Sorry, Juggalos. I'm sure that was a terrible classification. I don't mean that in a mean way. They're like, I come from metalhead culture. Metalheads are notorious for being dirt heads. Juggalos are dirt heads, much like metalheads, but of a different cut.
Except now all the original, like those wayward youth that were big Juggalo fans back in the day, like wear 3-piece suit ties now and shit like that, working normal jobs. You would have no idea.
Yeah, there are a number of people like that, like undercover Juggalos, like, highly successful people, and like that's their thing in music culture. Yeah, there's definitely that. We see that in the metal world too.
Still, I'm getting like a culture class right now. What's a dirt head?
It's just a thrasher, dirt.
Oh, okay.
Stoner,
Hesher.
thrasher, hesher. The rocker people you knew in high school. Some places they'd call us dirt heads. Yeah. Cavi, what do you think? What do you think about ICP? You are you knowing about the whole Juggalo phenomenon?
I'm familiar with the Juggalo phenomenon. I don't think I know their music, but if you played some of their more popular songs, I would probably be like, oh, so this is Insane Clown Posse. But no, I learned about it and had it described to me kind of like you did, and I was like, no way is this real. No way do they drink soda called Fago. And no, it's 100% real.
Yeah. Wish I could remember the name of the documentary. Maybe someone will find it and link us or put it in one of the chats. But
Have you had Fago? It's terrible, by the way.
I've never had it. No,
never seen it in real life.
What would you compare it to? What's it similar to?
Chicken.
Chicken flavored soda. Red and
that's the answer for that. What it's similar to, always
chicken. It smells like Fago, tastes like chicken. All right, let's see here. I've got my arm has been commandeered by this creature, so I have to do this one-handed now. Yeah, okay. Audit of Fort Knox, we covered that. Oh, I didn't know this one until you put it on the list, Ruckus. Mitch McConnell threw in the towel. He's not seeking re-election, huh?
As of today, breaking news, everybody. The man who should have retired 50 years ago says, I'm done, before freezing and falling down for the 20th time.
Finally. Yeah, he fell down some stairs a week or two ago, didn't he? I mean,
dude's in a wheelchair. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't feel that bad for him.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. There's sort of this like humiliation factor about like a humiliation factor and a reverse humiliation factor where it's like you just look strictly at these people's policies, their actions and their words over these long careers like his, and you're just like, that's patently evil. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even hate you. It's just too evil to like hate, because then you just become that. So it's like, okay, it's just going on and on and on and on and on. But at the same time, like, politicians are humiliating the American public by, all this weekend at Bernie's politics that we get.
He's 80. He's 83.
83, huh?
Wow.
All right.
I think he was older.
Yeah, he seems like he's having a pretty hard time holding it together up there on Capitol Hill. There he is. Mitch McConnell announces he won't run for re-election. I don't even want to play the clip. So, yep, there goes a Kentucky legacy right there.
He was like one of those. He was like the only one who was voting against the confirmations of, I think, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. Like, they literally wheeled the guy in and forced him to go make his vote. He was like the only one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. There it is in the article. McConnell voted against 3 of Trump's top cabinet picks in recent weeks: Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and Robert Kennedy Jr. And now, since this came out, also, I would imagine Kash Patel. He was the only Republican to vote against confirmation of Gabbard and RFKJ.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
only Republican.
Yeah.
Clearly, the Dems were fighting all that shit.
I mean, he's kind of like an honorary Dem, isn't he? He's like the war hawk.
For as long as he's been around, I always compared. He talks like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, very much.
But people like to compare him to a turtle. He's even said weird things like, "I like to retract into my shell," and stuff like
that. Yeah, we've seen him do that a few times. All right, let's see here.
There was another politician. I don't even know who it was, and not even nearly as old as Mitch McConnell. And he was up there in the middle of doing a speech on the Senate floor or whatever, and he just absolutely froze. He just stopped. I was like, "Whoa, something's going on there." I think it might be the the Havana syndrome, whatever that shit was.
Yeah, remember that? Yep. Yep, they spray the conspiracy theories. They spray gas into the hotel you live in, and it makes you all wonky and I don't know, like quaalude out or something.
The
Okay.
adrenochrome ran out.
Yeah, right. There's a timer on that. Going back to the Bing Dang Ow, way too low thing. So that was Asiana Airlines Flight 214. That was a real incident. Of course, those weren't the names of the pilots. It was a trans-Pacific passenger flight coming out of somewhere near Seoul, South Korea to San Francisco back in 2013. And the flight crashed on final approach. Of the 307 people on board, 3 died. Wow. 49 seriously injured, 3 died. That's pretty amazing. So someone was really, really trolling because people died in that one. Thanks, Creative Accidents. Always coming with the facts here. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Creative Accidents also dropped me. Okay. There's multiple Juggalo documentaries. There's A Family Underground, The United States of Insanity, American Juggalo, and Buffalo Juggalos. So, plenty of those for you to look up out there if you're interested. I don't remember which one it was that I saw.
I'm gonna have to watch Buffalo Juggalo just for the name.
Right? That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeah, we'll just go. Creative Accident says, which one? Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's got to be one of those, though. I saw it on a streaming service. I feel like it was on like dreaded Hulu or something like that. Yeah, and Izzy dropped a YouTube one. There's one called Insane Clown Posse, The Lore, The Life, The Juggalos. So yeah, just Google. I mean, just Google it or put it into YouTube. You'll see enough. And
Yeah, I was reading some of the lyrics. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Right. Yeah, I loved bands like that. I still love bands like that were just complete, like, you know what I mean? Like, the trolling, basically, like trolling in music lyrics before there even was an internet. That's what one of the things Insane Clown Posse was good at. That's one of the things SOD did masterfully. Stormtroopers of Death, AC. I don't even want to say the name of this band. Look up Earache Records and a band called AC and read some of their lyrics. Oh my God. You'll be like, this is like something that you see on Twitter these days or something like that.
Was SOD, were they the ones that used the swastika symbology?
I don't remember I don't think they did. They had Sergeant D as their mascot. I'll bring up a picture of them. They're actually doing not a reunion show, but tribute to themselves basically at this year's Milwaukee Metal Fest, I think. SOD Sergeant D. The big controversy with them was that their album was called Speak English or Die. And the lyrics all sort of reflected that. They were very critical of immigration. They had a song on there called F the Middle East, and it was all done in fun for them. But yeah, this album, you wouldn't be able to make this album today. There's no way. You just wouldn't be able to. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? That's Mitch McConnell. Oh, I saw this one too. This one you put in there, Ruckus. Jewish Miami man shoots 2 Israelis mistakenly believed to be Palestinians. Wow, that's a pretty twisted web considering everything that's going on.
The dude looks like he's absolutely insane too.
Yeah. See if I can find a picture here.
He was just driving around and he saw 2 people. He's all, oh, I think they're Palestinians. And so he shoots them and he tells the cops all proud, like, hey, I just shot 2 Palestinians.
Like, that should be okay for some reason. I mean, what the hell? Man, my search engine is not going well tonight. My computer's tripping. All right, I'm just gonna leave that one where it is. I'll put a link on the show.
I got a nice one with the mugshot and everything
Oh,
for
you
you.
do?
Hold on.
Wonderful.
I do. Let me see if I can switch my tabs and paste it for you. He's like just happy about it. He's like grinning and shit. It's crazy.
Oh wow. Yep. That's pretty nutty, dude. Okay, put this
Also
guy
let
on
him
the
know, please, Your
screen
Honor, that his father
here.
is also
There's
present. Mr.
actually a little
Brofman, I'm
video
asking
here. I
that
wonder
you
if this is
remain
worth
silent and let
watching
me
at
speak
all.
for you.
Looks like an arraignment video, perhaps.
Just so you know, you're present here in court with me.
Also let him know, please, Your Honor, that his father is also present. Mr. Brofman, I'm asking that you remain silent and let me speak for you.
This is Mordecai Brofman in bond court on Monday. He's accused of shooting 2 people Saturday night on Miami Beach, charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder.
Also issuing stay-away orders against Ari Rabi and Yaron Rabi.
Ari and his dad returning to the scene Monday morning, 48th Street near Alton Road. He says he and his father were randomly shot at while driving down Alton Road. Video shows their car covered in bullet holes. Police say a total of 17 shots were fired.
He didn't sleep like 2 days.
You can still see the bandage where the victim was shot in the shoulder. His dad was grazed. They say they're lucky to be alive.
I don't know what he's feeling in that moment, and he just the gun and tried to kill them.
In his arrest report, police say Brofman told detectives he saw 2 Palestinians and tried to shoot and kill both. He has another hearing Tuesday where his attorneys will try to get him out on bond as the victims revisit the scene, soaking in what they say happened to them.
That attorney's gonna have a hard time explaining that. Wow.
How would a person like this get radicalized to want to shoot what he refers to as Palestinians? Where did that come from? Weird.
Yeah, where could one possibly get this idea? Probably, wait, I'm guessing the mainstream media who are actually responsible for it will blame social media, probably, right?
Crazy.
Wow. Cavi, what do you think, man? Any surprise that kind of stuff is happening? Remember after 9/11, that kind of stuff happened for a bit there. People like beating up Sikhs thinking they were Muslims.
It's clearly the video games.
It's the Call of Duty, huh?
Yep.
It says here he was a fan of Juggalo music, Hesher.
Oh, no.
Just kidding.
The Juggalo killer. No. We're just kidding, everybody.
That's probably the thing.
The hate crimes unit is the one doing reviewing his case, of course.
Of course.
Clearly, it's a hate crime, even though it was misdirected hate crime. How does that work?
Like, would it have been okay if they had been Palestinians? I mean,
good question. Would they give him a medal?
Infidel, help me out here, man. Help me understand this this story. What's going on here? How did we get here?
I don't know. I'm actually lost myself.
Good. I'm not alone then. Like this dude just shoots at 2 random people thinking they're Palestinians. Like,
I when I read this like a few days ago, I was like, what is this? Like, first I thought it was a joke, but then I was like, yeah, there is a lot of just people with just a lot of hate that will do some stupid shit like that, and not realizing it. But yeah, I'm lost.
Me too, dude. Me too.
Well, when you have these alternative media types, like you mentioned them earlier, Hesher, the Sean Ryans of the world, running around scaring everybody into thinking that the Hamas terrorists are going to pop up in America now because that's a thing. This is to be expected. There are people who are lone gunmen, lone nuts out there, lone wolves. Remember, I guess that shoe only fits in one certain instance, I guess, but it doesn't apply here. I mean, nobody's going to stop and question that this guy was literally radicalized by fake news out there with this fear porn that they pass off as news. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's fucking weird. So my copy paste feature is broken. I don't know how the hell that happens. Like every time I paste something, it comes up with the same thing. It's like this long article I don't remember copying. This is totally a technical aside, but what the hell is that? I've never never had that happen before.
AI.
It's something about, yeah, it's about Malay too. It's about that first thing we were talking about. Sorry, I'm yelling at my dogs. Security team is lit over here. 27 degrees out too. I hope they don't want to go outside. I don't want to go out there. Shut up, you guys. All right. Let me shut the door. I'll be right back.
Oh no. The dogs don't seem to mind the cold. I was observing that today. I was like, how do dogs do it? They don't seem to notice. They don't care.
So my neighbors have a bunch of giant dogs, and he goes and just walks them every day in the middle of a blizzard. And I don't know. That's why I don't have dogs. I can't do the walking them every day in the winter.
I used to have big dogs, and when I had big dogs, I was that way too. Like no matter what, that dog did not care. You're walking him no matter what. And I have small dogs, and they're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going out there. It's too cold. Okay, let's see here. I was speaking with Mark Anderson earlier today, and we were talking about this whole egg shortage thing, which we discussed last week a little bit. And of course, here we go. Vaccinations. This is another headline we got here tonight. New bird flu strategy prioritizing vaccinations over cullings. So I don't know. I think this one is just so patently obvious. The solution is not this. The solution is saving American family-owned farms and not red taping everybody out of the ability to do farming. Let's share this one. Thanks, Ruckus. Since I can't copy paste, the links help. New bird flu strategy. There you go. shtfplan.com. Trump administration is planning a new strategy for fighting bird flu. Its policy will prioritize vaccinations and tighter biosecurity instead of killing off millions of chickens when the disease strikes a flock. This comes back to the dreadful conditions that most of these chickens live in. First off, just for the general health in the food supply. It's just the same. I mean, what do you guys think? This is basically a PCR scam, I think, that is being used to scare people and to gain a tighter grip on the food supply.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time they ran this. I think this is, I would say, a continuous theme.
Yeah, it's like constant bird flu every month. I
Yeah.
keep hearing bird flu, even since like way back before COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bird flu is their next scare, and they're not going to stop until they vaccinate all the damn chickens.
Right. Well, because I thought that the plan was they were just going to use this as an excuse to further cut down the food supply stuff. But it looks like it's a problem reaction solution. It's going to encourage everyone like, oh, well, we can all agree we don't want to kill the birds. So we're just going to do this instead. Which if they had come out of the gate right away saying we want to vaccinate the birds, maybe it would have been less accepted. Maybe this is a way to get everybody to be like, yes, let's just shoot up the birds instead of killing them so we can still have our eggs at cheap prices.
Are we ever going to get eggs at cheap prices again at this point? My goodness.
No, nothing is going to get a cheap price. I went to the store today to buy some tomatoes, and I ended up paying $17 for tomatoes.
Jeez,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Wow. Tomatoes are one of the most disappointing experiences now too. It's so hard to find one that actually tastes like a tomato. Have you noticed?
It is, but at least I'm because I'm trying to buy organic, so it doesn't even taste good. But at least I'm trying to say to get no chemicals in it. But
yeah, you don't have you don't have Billy Gates's appeal on it and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, what did you guys do to the flavor of this stuff? Like, that's how we fix all this stuff, man. Get the chemicals out of it and get the factories out of it and incentivize
There is
people to go back to doing, farming.
Tomatoes are surprisingly easy to grow too.
Yeah, right.
They are. I'm planning this year. I'm actually gonna start doing hydroponic tomatoes.
I had a buddy that did hydroponic peppers. He was really into frankly, he was really into hydroponic marijuana, and he got caught doing that. So then he decided he really liked growing hydroponically, and he was one of those guys that would go to like chili fests and stuff like that because he got busted for the marijuana, so he couldn't smoke the marijuana anymore. So he started growing chilies, and he had these chilies. I mean, oh man, the hottest chili I ever ate came out of his hydro system, and they were beautiful. They looked really like a fun hobby growing chilies.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys know how that works.
All right. Don't send me the kill you hot one though. I can't do the like Richter scale 59 or whatever. They have a whole scale for the heat on those.
Well, the company that just got approved for that vaccine, it's called Zoetis, Zoetis. And I think I had seen, I'm checking now, I'm trying to find out, but I think that I'd seen that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was invested in this company.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Or at least he got called out for being invested in something similar to that. But I thought this was the one. Zoetis Inc. Let's see. Perhaps if this thing will resolve. Maybe not. Maybe he's invested in something else. I must have read that wrong. But it is a vaccine that's been on. They've been trying to get this approved for years. I don't know how far back they were trying to do this, but that's what the USDA just approved it and said, okay, yeah, we're green lighting this. They granted them what's referred to as a conditional license to Zoetis for its avian influenza vaccine, and it's not for people; it's for the birds. Weird.
It's for the birds, but not in the
Literally.
literal way. I don't want it in the literal way. Yeah, this is I mean, just so we have a little more extra context here. This article came out 10 days ago via AP. New strain of bird flu detected in a Nevada dairy worker says. So they're saying that this is the person one. We talked about this last week or the week before. They're saying a person has it. They PCR tested a person. And it's a dairy worker, right? And they're saying it's a bird flu. But they talk about the culling in here also. Come on, get out of here. Pop up. I'm trying to find the numbers. Where's the numbers? Anyways, somewhere in this article or another one, they're talking about the numbers culled, and it's millions. They have culled millions of birds per month, millions per month. So there you go. That's how you get the footage we got from Costco last week. People just hoarding eggs.
I guess the article I'd seen, I think this was shared in our Boiler Room server on Discord by Photon. The company that RFK Jr. is invested in are these biotech companies called CRISPR Therapeutics and Dragonfly Therapeutics. And he's going to have to divest interests in all of these companies now that he's head of the HHS. Go figure.
Okay. Well, CRISPR, no one... CRISPR technology. You heard of that stuff, right, Cavi? The CRISPR?
The gene editing stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of goes hand in hand with like PCR tests and pandemic industrial complex machinations, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
are we still like using PCR tests for like other diseases now? Because they don't even That was one of the things that drove me nuts during COVID was the PCR tests are not tests. They don't test for diseases.
Yeah.
I guess now everybody knows about them, so we're just going to use them for everything now.
I don't. I'm with you. I find that endlessly frustrating, and I don't understand why people bow to the fake authority of claims of PCR test outcomes.
What I really don't get is how are people still testing positive for COVID now in like 2025? Like, who is even taking these tests?
Right?
Like, I got a cold last year, and my first thought was like, I feel miserable. I'm gonna just take it easy for a couple of days. I'm like, I'm not gonna run out and do a COVID test, and even if I did, like, you can't go to the store and buy the medicine for COVID because it doesn't exist. So, like, what's even the point? Like, you're sick, so either way, you're gonna stay home and try to not infect people.
Right. Like do the same thing you've done your entire freaking life.
Exactly.
And probably have the same outcome unless you die, and then it's a different outcome. Otherwise, you get better.
The only time I would say it's ever acceptable to do a COVID test is if it somehow gets you out of going to work or going to school.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, you could just, Google a picture of a positive COVID test. You don't have to actually put your DNA on anything that somebody could take.
Exactly.
No, it's ridiculous, man. Like the only thing they model those on are computer models. They're not even based on anything in reality. It's retarded. It's fucking retarded at this point that we let COVID test, PCR test people in their little lame spacesuits going around getting shit samples from farms and telling people they have to kill their food supply. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, according to Reuters, I guess Trump was going to shut down the government website, which was shipping the free COVID-19 tests, but he's changed his mind. He's reversed his plan. So they're still good to go. So you can still go to the government's website and get a free COVID-19 test. There you go, Cavi.
Yeah, I'm in with the wrong government though, so but I'm sure my government has free tests too.
Yeah, probably.
Your government has free medical assisted in dying, doesn't it?
Yes. So I've heard. I have yet to encounter this MAID stuff in my real life. So I don't know. I do think some of it is kind of over exaggerated because I had a relative die last year and he was like 96, had like 3 different kinds of cancer, full on dementia, and nobody ever offered him MAID. So I don't know.
Where are you at? Where are you in, Kevin? Where are you at?
I'm in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the American media sure has made a meal out of that one. I've seen a lot of reports about that shit.
Well, the sensational reporting was that they were encouraging it for like people for mental health problems because they're homeless, because they're broke. It wasn't for, like Cavi said, somebody who's actually suffering might, need that more so than somebody who's just upset that they're broke,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they made like all the sensational vignettes, the stories here, where it's like 26-year-old girl tired of living, government's gonna help her kill herself. Like all those stories. Saw those all over the place, but
it's okay. All that will change when they become the 51st state. Sorry, Kavi.
It's okay.
I mean, maybe you get your gun rights back. I guess that'd be one positive, maybe.
Yeah, that's one thing that's like really frustrating about here is we don't actually have any rights like you guys do.
Right.
So when did this start eroding, Kavi? Like when did it, or you
rights?
never had rights? Yeah.
No, we never had them. Back in I want to say the 70s with Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, they brought in something called the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And in that, we have all of the same stuff you have, where it's like you have the right to free speech, you have the right against self-incrimination, you have the right to a speedy trial, like all the your standard things. But there's like an asterisk by every single one, and they use words like as reasonably interpreted. So basically, you have all these rights as they're interpreted by a judge at whatever time. So they really don't mean anything at the end of the day. And then we have these like crazy. We have this whole separate human rights tribunal thing, which is a whole separate. If you do a hate crime, you get hauled in front of them, and they're not even a real court, and it's a mess. And then during COVID too, like they didn't even care. People were circulating the image of like the original charter with over half the rights just crossed out, and they're just like, yeah, no, you don't have these anymore. So, and nobody did anything. So it would be nice to get some actual rights.
Yeah. Seriously, man. Well, you can always come out here and shoot our guns.
No.
Sounds good.
You're welcome to come down anytime. I know that it's weird, man. Like when you think about it, it's just like, why? Like,
We're not as bad as like Europe, but it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Europe right now is insane.
In America, they trample on our rights all the time, and then it takes like fucking 10 years for it to go to the Supreme Court, and they say, you shouldn't have done that. That's illegal.
Yeah, that's
and they're
the
like,
thing.
we're sorry.
That little caveat that's written into what you just described is sort of like where we get the legal system instead. You know what I mean? Like if, let's say you take someone out defending yourself or something like that, like you're gonna go through everything the criminal would go through and probably lose, 3, 4, 5 years of your life and all your money. And if you're lucky, you'll make it through the legal system and your rights will all still be intact, and justice will be served. It's just a long, arduous, life-ruining financial drain, I guess. And then there's a lot of question about it now too, because so many of those rights were been violated so harshly in the last 8 years, like of just common people, like so many of them. So I don't know. People are questioning a lot of that stuff here in this country right now, I think. All right, let's see here. What else we got tonight, you guys? Oh, what was this shit going on in Chernobyl? Like there was
A false flag
attempt in Chernobyl. Like what was that? Ukrainians flew a drone into Chernobyl or something like that and tried to say Russia did it. I mean, the whole thing was so silly.
That's not been proven yet.
Like the Nord Stream, you mean?
Trump has certainly been having some strong words for Zelensky.
Yeah, I know.
He called him a dictator, I think.
Yeah, totally. I really enjoyed watching the comments on X under that one when it got shared. That was fun.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of false flags. Also like yesterday, like 2 buses or 3 buses exploded in Tel Aviv, right? Same, those false flag will always be false flag.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tensions happening with the ceasefire deal because of this return or not return. As of, I guess the breaking news is they're saying it wasn't the body of the person they were hoping it was, but the Bebas family, I think I'm saying that right, was the mother with the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Who originally back in the day it was suggested that they were killed by IDF bombing. Both sides can't seem to provide any evidence to what really happened. So the mainstream story is winning. The Israel propaganda side says, okay, yes, no, the Hamas killed these people. But now Israel is saying that out of the 4 dead the hostages, the dead bodies that were released, that she's not one of them. They're now insisting she wasn't one of the ones who was returned. They got the 2 kids, but not the mom. And so now they're like, where the hell's the mom? And in the middle of all that, we got like buses blowing up and they're like, look what Hamas did. So there's like, who knows what's going on.
Yeah, great timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mass distraction right there. Let me switch around for a second. I want to play this clip because what we were talking about there with regards to the PCR test. Let's do this one.
How do they misuse PCR to estimate all these supposed free viral RNAs that may or may not be there.
I think misuse PCR is not quite. I don't think you can misuse PCR. No, the results, the interpretation of it. See, if you can say, if they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body, okay? So that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful. It is. No, there's very little of what they call HIV, and what's been brought out here by Phil Pott and Isai already, the measurement for it is not exact at all. It's not as good as our measurement for things like apples. An apple is an apple. You know, you can get something that's kind of like, if you got enough things that look kind of like an apple and you stick them all together, you might think it's an apple. But and HIV is like that. Those tests are all based on things that are invisible, and the results are inferred in a sense. PCR is separate from that. It's just a process that's used to make a whole lot of something out of something. That's what
Also,
it is. But it's not. It doesn't tell you that you're sick, and it doesn't tell you that the thing you.
There you go. Not a diagnostic.
Yeah, it's a tool if you're doing genetic research, because what it does is it basically takes a chunk of DNA, it cuts it in half, and then it basically photocopies another half onto both of the pieces. And then you do that again, you cut it in half, and you use, they have a special, they call it like the TAC enzyme or something, to basically make up that second half of the strand. And you just keep running it over and over and over and over, and you get more and more and more of this DNA. And so the more cycles you run, the more you get. And that's one of the big scams they were doing by COVID, because if you ran it for so many cycles, you would get the higher result. But if you dialed the number of cycles you ran, you would get less. And like we all remember, the day I think Joe Biden got inaugurated, they dropped the cycle level down, and all of a sudden, like, way less people had COVID. But basically, all the PCR test does is it basically photocopies a chunk of DNA. So it's not a diagnostic test. It doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, exactly. And those cycles, the more cycles you run, the higher chance of getting false positives out of it, which again is a misnomer, because you're not getting positives and negatives. But according to the way they use it, those extra cycles are what generate more and more false positives. So it was a case demic in a PCR scam.
And we don't even know like what DNA they were even testing. Like, weren't they just testing this random chunk of, and it's just basically like DNA is just like the ACTGs, right? So they were just testing for a random string of ATGCs, which could be in anything. I heard one person describe it once. It was like, imagine you go to your shelf and you grab a book, you open to a random page, and on that random page, you go to a random sentence and you grab like 4 words in a row. And then you say, all right, any book that has these 4 words in a row is this book. And no, that's not true at all.
That's an excellent analogy.
Yeah. Right. Except in the case of a PCR, it's like you've got a computer model telling you. It's like it's not even as analog a process as opening a book. Like you're literally just letting a algorithm tell you what you're looking for.
Yeah, I argued like so much with people during COVID until I just gave up.
Yeah, totally, man. Okay, let's see here. Headline: Chernobyl radiation shield hit by Russian drone, Ukraine says. And then on the other side, Russia denies Ukrainian claim it struck Chernobyl reactor shell as radiation levels remain normal. So I guess those two cancel each other out, and it's an unknown, but it's floating around our zeitgeist.
At least there's video, so we know something hit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was a macaque monkey.
Did you, Gabby? We talked about this last week. Did you see that the country of Sri Lanka had its lights turned down by a macaque monkey?
Yeah, I watched the show last week.
That was so funny, man. Uh,
Did he get cooked or?
he must have, right? They didn't say in that article, but I was thinking it like, I don't know. I just can picture it in my head. Sounds like he must have got cooked if one of those main transformers went out.
And then a Haitian immigrant ate it. Just kidding. Don't come at me.
Yeah, let's see here.
I
Yeah,
think Pharaoh's got to head out if he wants to say goodbye.
Pharaoh, I think we're about out of stories too, so I'll let you have a safe rounds and final thoughts here. Mystical Pharaoh, thanks for being with us tonight and hanging out here in the boiler room.
Thanks, man. That was fun. Kavi, was good hanging out with you tonight. And thanks to all our listeners out there. And I will probably be online this Saturday. I know, sorry, I've been bailing the last couple of weeks, but it's just been a big hectic. So I'm going to carpet ride this Saturday. So
All
meet
right.
me live.
Nice. Okay, so a new music mix from Mystical Pharaoh this Saturday at Alternate Current Radio. We'll see you there, man. Thanks for being here tonight. Have a great rest of the week. We'll see you Saturday, dude.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
All right. There he goes. Mystical Pharaoh out. All right. My dogs are literally barking, so I'm about ready to get out of here. Saved Rounds, final thoughts. Cavi, how about you, man? Thanks for being here with us tonight. Give a shout out to the Mystical American Patriot Society. Tell everybody where to find you guys and what you're up to, and any saved rounds you got for tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting hearing all of you guys talking at ×1 speed. So I normally listen to everything at ×2 speed. So
sorry if we felt slow.
No worries. Yeah, the Mystical American Patriot Society. You can find it on pretty much every podcast platform. And the website is mapsoc, mapsoc.org, and everything is there.
All right. Excellent. Great having you with us. Let's do this again real soon, Cavi.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. There goes Cavi. Ruckus, over to you. Save rounds, final thoughts.
We got measles in Texas.
Oh, who's we?
Well, I don't know, but apparently a lot of folks. It's also spreading to New Mexico, which I find concerning. I'm like, I just moved from New Mexico to Texas, and these two states keep popping up in the news together. So that's something to keep an eye on. Already, folks are saying or suggesting that the jibby jabs from the COVID are causing the outbreak of measles. There could be a there. There's a story that we maybe shouldn't even touch, but it's a pretty big story. It's going crazy, especially on X. Just yet another example of these crazy conservative blue check marks that turns out that they're not all that they say they are. This Roz Alerts account, Hesher, did you see this? Hubble this Ruckus, this Rocket, This is crazy. I don't want to talk too much about it, but so pretty big account. The dude owns multiple accounts, and he poses himself off as a Christian conservative type, and turns out that he identifies as a 5-year-old dog who likes to have sex with little boys or something weird like that. So he's in a whole lot of trouble right now. It's not what I'm saying. That's what they're saying on X. The guy came out and he made some official legal statement that some people are interpreting as a suicide note. So I hope the dude's all right, but he seems quite embarrassed by getting caught out for it. I don't think anyone's really upset that he was, that he wears a dog gimp mask. That's kind of weird, but they're more upset about the fact that he was, messaging 15-year-old boys back in the day saying he wanted to have sex with them. That's probably not good. So it is what it is. So we got that going on. And then the big news today, technocracy got a lot closer. Elon Musk finally stepped it up. He released Grok 3, which has some new features, including something called Deep Search. I've been playing around with it. They finally gave me access to it today. It's pretty insane. You're gonna have to play around with it if you're into that stuff. But you can get like you can ask it to be bait. You can do the things. You can get like personalities now, so you can tell it, give me a based answer. He's got like all these personalities, so it's getting crazy. So that's pretty brand new. Maybe we'll talk about that next week as more people are playing with it. Elon Musk also announced as part of that he's going to release like a game studio, and he demoed the fact that this chat bot, the Grok, made a clone of some of these classic games like Breakout and Tetris, like in a second. You know what I mean? So that's pretty crazy. Sorry if you were a coder creating video games. Your jobs are probably going to be gone soon. And then the other big thing that's happening out across the other side of the world there, I guess Germany has gone full-blown schizo. They are literally showing up at your house and arresting you for your posts on social media because somebody might interpret what you say as not nice. And we're not talking about arguing about COVID or arguing about lockdowns. No, if you have something not nice to say about elected officials or your neighbor, you're just like, I don't like this guy because he yelled at me. You're going to get a knock on your door and you might face prison time. So I have no idea what's happening in Germany. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I did see some of that, man. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
It's getting scary out there.
Yeah, there's no such thing as hate speech in a country that has free speech. Just keep that in mind, my friends. You are free. If you feel the hatred flow and you feel the need to say it, well, in some countries, you're going to do better than others. Your mileage is going to vary. Things are getting weird. And they tried to do that to us here. They're still working on doing that to us here. They are doing that to us here in their own ways. So,
and I'd seen an interview with this one group. I don't know what they were associated with, but I think it was related, where this one lady was literally like, the interviewer was asking, okay, so we get the hate speech thing, but what if you just like the post or you share it, you retweet it? Is that a crime too? And they're like, oh yes, absolutely. So even if you just like what other people are saying or repost it, it's now a crime. This is crazy. This is a full stop. We should not be doing this. I don't care what country it is.
Like, where is there a 3-hop rule here? Like, if someone said the mean speak and someone liked it, and then someone's like looked at their friend who liked it, like, and looked it up or clicked on it, like, does everybody in the loop go to jail for mean speak or get their account rated or whatever for the mean speak? I mean,
is it a crime just to see it? I mean,
yeah, like, where does it stop? Who's the aggressor? Who's the victim? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's all going to get very subjective if you keep going down these paths, and it's going to start splashing back on all of us because they're trying to, you know what I mean? Like there's the European law about this stuff. There's the Australian law about this stuff. There's the Canadian law about this stuff. Then they're trying to figure out how to go after people in other countries, extradite them, that kind of stuff. And, and then JD Vance, of course, goes over to the Munich Security Council and makes them cry when he tells them that kind of behavior sucks. So I don't know. This is going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. But those westernized nations, they got to get rid of that stuff. Like, if we want to have a free information sphere for us as planetary people, here, I speak to you as a globalist. Okay, let's pretend I like globalism, because I kind of do. I like being able to play video games with people in other countries and do podcasts and live streams with people in other countries. So in that sense, I'm pro technology and pro globalism. But we're not going to be able to speak with each other, speaking it from that lens. We're not going to be able to speak to each other and have a good time and use sarcasm and, logic and analysis and learn each other's cultures and language. We're not going to be able to do that if Western countries are going to treat their citizens in this stupid fucking way. So let's kick that stuff out of the 21st century. We don't need it going into the 21st century. Sounds like a situation that could lead to war. All right. When people of your country, your countrymen, and your allies in other countries can't speak to each other online, when your citizens can't speak to each other while you're doing cultural warfare and propaganda against them, that is a situation that creates war. And we live in the fucking 21st century, and most of us don't want it. We got Pokemon on our phones to play. We got Netflix. We got fucking VR to play with and AI. We don't need to have this stupid stuff going on. So stop it with the censorship, world, please.
I guess best case scenario, it's just going to be a problem, reaction, solution kind of thing. And then one last one. This is for Spore. I shared this in our private group chat earlier, Hesher. I don't know if you saw this.
Did, yeah.
This is great. You thought that the stimulus checks were done because we're way past COVID? Oh, no. Oh, no. Elon Musk has a brilliant idea. Apparently, he's suggesting that already his Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, has already, just at this early stage in the game, has already saved the Americans $55 billion. So what they want to do now is they are going to invest that back into Americans in the form of a $5,000 stimulus check for every taxpayer. Okay, sure. What? Crazy. So yeah, Doge dividend tax refund might be coming your way, folks. Here we go again.
All righty then.
Is that a bribe? What is this?
I don't know. It doesn't feel quite as much like hush money as before, but it still does feel a little weird. Like as long as PPP loans don't come along with it, I'll let this one go. But yeah, that was surprised to see that too. Stimulus
Could be a
check.
little UBI test. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
We'll see.
Been a minute since I got my hush money. That first one was signed by Trump himself. It just showed up in the mailbox.
This one might be signed by Elon Musk. How about that?
Maybe
Anyways,
maybe he'll send a blowtorch with it or a boring drill or something.
it is interesting to see how $55 billion gets proposed to be divided up to everybody. $5,000. I have to check the math on that.
Yeah.
But there you go. The world's richest person is happy to share some of the money that was spent by taxpayers to give it back to the taxpayers. What a novel concept. It is pretty unique, interesting. However, if you look back at your lifetime of all the taxes that you paid and where your money went to, especially looking at all this corruption, and then without that, you look at, I complain all the time. One of the reasons I hate paying taxes is like, where's the box that says I don't want my money to be used to kill babies in a foreign land somewhere because of bombs that Nikki Haley or whoever signed their name on,
Yeah.
Finish them. Was that Nikki Haley? Who was that?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of people that have signed those things, but I think she was one of them.
Crazy.
Maybe Victoria Nuland. I wouldn't be surprised if she signed a few of those.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But that's all I got, Hesher. So thanks for having me. Obviously, I've been having some issues with getting my own program out to the Daily Ruckus. The next one will be available when it's available. I'm working on a huge episode that's really, really probably going to have to get broken into 2 parts. But I'm going to start recording it tomorrow and see how far that goes. So hopefully by this weekend, worst case scenario, Monday, that'll be out. And then I'm ready to do my normal, smaller episodes that are just based on the current news events happening at the time. No more crazy, long themed things for Ruckus unless it's a holiday. What's the next holiday? I don't even know. I'll have to do an Easter episode, I guess. But so keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to support Ultimate Current Radio. And if you like myself, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link on my show pages. Thanks for having me, Hesher. It was a blast. God bless each and every one of you. And may God save this republic. Ruckus out.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, a little bit of dead air there. I was doing a Charlie Chaplin. Thanks, guys. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you on Saturday for some music. We'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Wire, and we'll see you next Thursday for another Boiler Room. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.